Guys, shop the store, www.versapparel.co. That's right, www.versapparel.co. Go to the store. My favorite shirt is the skeleton skating shirt in that light gray tee. And my second favorite shirt is the astronaut surfing shirt in the white tee, guys. And then also the yellow Verse shirt in the radical Verse sign in that mellow yellow. And also, guys, with every purchase you buy online at www.versapparel.co, you will get a free compilation CD. What is up, you guys? Thank you for listening and viewing the Verse podcast. Guys, just a couple promotions before we start. Guys, AC Beer Fest. That's right, guys. AC Beer Fest, April 12th. April 12th will be Hot Mulligan. And on the next day, the 13th, will be Saves the Day. And, you ready for it? Goldfinger, guys. You guys remember Goldfinger? Tony Hawk, shout out. Guys, definitely buy tickets now. Get in while it's hot. www.acbeerfest.com. That's right, guys. www.acbeerfest.com. Guys, we are on Spotify now. Yeah. So, guys, we're still going to be on YouTube. So if you want to view the podcast with video, guys, definitely subscribe to YouTube. www.youtube.com/@versapparel, or you can type in the search engine Verse podcast. But now on Spotify, we will be doing audio only. So guys, search and follow us on Spotify, and search us on Verse podcast. That's right, guys. Verse podcast now available on Spotify. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for viewing and listening, guys. We have another special guest in today, guys. Let's give them a round of applause. It is the band Sonoa. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
How's it going?
Good. Very good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course.
We've been waiting for this.
Yeah, I've been waiting to have you guys on for a while now. And the time has finally come.
Yeah.
I know when Verse started, you helped us out with like one of our first events in the city. Yeah.
True. The city? What was that one?
That was the
New York show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. And you guys
We also did Asbury together.
You're right, yeah.
A yacht club before it closed down.
Yeah, now it's the break.
The break.
The break, yeah. That guy Pete actually reached out to me. I got to reach back out to him to do something there. It looks nice there.
Yeah, it looks. They just had a fest yesterday or something.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they still. I feel like ever since they changed, they want like bands back. So they actually hit us up sometimes. Like, are you sure you can't play? I'm like, yeah, I can't play.
Like, is just like schedule involved, or
well, because sometimes we plan we have shows every so often, so we rather just like have one show.
Gotcha.
And, like, for example, like a month, and then he like, oh, come back. I'm like, we can't.
Yeah. So you guys have some shows lined up. You want to shout that out?
So we got March 16th in Philly at the Fire. Then we got the next week, March 21st at what was the
Finnegan's Pub in Hoboken, New Jersey.
And then 22nd in Brooklyn at this place called the Wood Shop, right?
Wood Shop. It's a new stage at the Brooklyn Monarch.
And then the last day we're doing March 23rd in Lancaster. It's a house show. Yeah. So DM us for that stuff. You can buy tickets to the Brooklyn show right on our website.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. The Jersey show is free, so come on out.
Yeah.
And it's This is all to promote like our latest song, Air Freshener. So it's like a little tiny tour for it to
Yeah,
promote it.
that's awesome. Definitely check that out on Spotify, any
Everything.
streaming platform,
All
right?
over. Yep.
YouTube.
What can they search?
SoundCloud.
Air freshener, Sonoa.
Sonoa?
And then it'll be like, did you mean Sonos? And I can say, no, I meant Sonoa. You really did not get the search engine optimization there.
Yeah.
If you go to sonoaband.com, it'll come right up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to our website.
I've heard about that though, that you guys get confused with like that.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even show
It
up.
doesn't even like make sense though, kind of. I mean, it's only like one
It's one
letter
letter, yeah.
difference.
We just need to get to the point where Google recognizes us as a word, and then
We have to be
fine.
bigger than Sonos.
just keep on posting and do
Yeah.
alt tags.
That's
just
true.
to beat the
Yep.
yeah. Do you guys want to do a little introduction real quick? So Gabe, you want to start your role in the band
Oh
and
yeah,
everything? Yeah.
yeah. I'm Gabe. I write the lyrics and play guitar in Sonoa, and I'm the singer. And then
You sing?
yeah,
Joking. I'm Anthony. I play drums. Yeah, and we are Sonoa, band from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
yep. And we also got Lewis, who plays lead guitar, and Chris, who plays bass. But they couldn't be with us today. So yeah.
You can catch them at the show, guys. So buy
Yeah,
tickets
come
now.
out.
It's gonna be a really fun show. I know I'll be at the Hoboken one
Yeah.
Sweet.
on March 21st, guys. Grab those tickets. It's gonna be
It's free. No
Yeah.
tickets. Don't
Yeah,
even
it's gonna
grab
be a good
them.
time.
in the lineup again.
So Amani,
That we just had here last week.
yeah, Amani's on it. So I play drums for Amani too.
Yep.
She's cool. And Quality Living,
Quality Living.
my favorite band in Jersey.
Yeah, we are obsessed with them. We love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're cool.
We might have them in soon, guys. Stay tuned.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, with the whole crew this time, I think. So let's talk about more of your music journey. How did Sonoa get started?
All right. So Anthony and I lived together freshman year
We
in
met
college.
freshman year, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we didn't live together. We were in
Yeah.
the same dorm
I would never live with
freshman year. And he had this cajon, like the little box drum, and I played piano back then. I didn't know how to play guitar yet. So we would just kind of jam. And we had a couple iterations of the band, different members, and but eventually, I guess junior year, it was just, or was it the end of sophomore year?
It was like the end of sophomore year.
Yeah,
It's
the end
like
of sophomore year, it was just us two, and I had picked up guitar that year, just because it was more portable. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to carry a piano around across Rutgers campus, so
It was a big piano. It wasn't like a normal it was like bigger than this table for some
Really?
reason. I
yeah,
don't
it
know
was
why.
no, it was a full 88 key keyboard,
know why.
and I actually had a carrying case for it.
I know.
I would.
I was like, why am I playing music with this kid? He can't just bring like a normal piano. It's like it won't even fit in the door. He had to like tilt it.
I would like store it
forklift,
under
pick
the
it up.
bed in my dorm, and then I would pull it out, and it would just take up like, it was like as tall as me, and I would just carry it like a big
It's like
suitcase
bigger than your bed.
on the bus. And yeah, eventually I just got really tired of that, so I bought a guitar, and that's when this project really started, because then we started writing the songs for Waves of Change, that first album.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we played. It was like me on drums, and then he would play piano. But then when he picked up guitar, which is the first time, we started writing the first songs for Sonoa, which is kind of weird. to think
Did you start off writing like with the piano and then just
Yeah.
like convert it to guitar? or-
No, there were no songs. I don't
okay.
think there were any that you. I mean, I don't know if you write them on piano first
No.
before, but there were none
Yeah.
that we wrote with a piano that turned into Sonoa. It was just like once he played guitar, it kind of was like the first Sonoa songs.
Yeah, I think that actually the instrument of the guitar was a pretty big turning point for me, like musically, because it was, I guess it was just easier for me to build like a rock song on that instrument than on piano.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then we had enough songs. We went to the studio with Doug, who has been producing all of our albums since the beginning.
What studio is that?
It was actually a house at that time.
in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
AGL was the name of the company.
Yeah, so he had a bunch of. He had like a whole. I feel like they had a whole team, people that shot videos and photos. They had another engineer.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah,
And-
Ryan and Big Body would take videos and photos.
And Saab would take photos and stuff. Yeah, so it was like a whole creative team of just people kind of living on Division Street in New Brunswick. And so we showed up with our song structures. It was just guitar and drums. And
acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
I don't think Gabe knew what electric guitar was.
I didn't own one yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just acoustic.
And we asked Doug to record lead guitar, actually. And I was going to play bass on the record. And then, just like, because of good timing, we ended up meeting Chris that summer and Lewis. Just in the span of like 2 weeks, we met both of them.
Wow. How did that happen?
So there was a Rutgers like jam group me, and some people one day were like, "Hey guys, want to jam?" And I was like, "Sure." And so at that jam, there was like a few people, and Chris was there, and he was just a monster. He was like crazy. I was like, "Wow, this dude is crazy," and we like understood each other. And
That's
we
Chris,
listened to like
right?
Chris,
Yeah.
and we would play the same, like we knew the same bands. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So then when it came time, like Gabe's like, oh, we're looking. I want to like let's have a bassist or something. I think we were thinking of him for guitar because I was playing guitar with him, but I think Lewis offered to play guitar first.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
And that's not how I remember it at all.
So we asked him to play bass.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
anyone want to join this band? And we met up with him, and he was playing bass.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And total monster. We were like, we played with him for like 20 minutes, and I was like,
Really?
Oh yeah,
you got it. Like he already like basically knew the songs like right off the bat.
He used to. Before that, he was a death metal band. Like he was in a death metal band, but he wrote everything. Like he wrote
Really?
the guitar, bass, the drums. He programmed it. He showed me some of them, and they were just crazy. And his band was pretty big.
Really? I had no idea.
They opened up for like Attila, and just huge bands. And then he was playing indie rock with us. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with Lewis, like literally the week after we met Chris, we played at Bayville Fest. And
how many years ago was that? That was like
2018.
That would have been
2018.
5 years ago now.
Was that 18?
Yeah, because that was like before the album was done.
Yeah, it's the summer of 2018.
And then it was still just us because he hadn't learned enough of the songs to play bass.
Right.
So we played, and then we saw Lewis's band Hartwell play later that night. And I was just talking to Lewis.
I think Lewis saw us play though.
Yeah.
It was just like him and me.
We had known him already through the scene, like seeing Hartwell play.
We played with basement shows with Hartwell.
Big fans of them.
Are they still around or
No, they broke up.
Yeah. They just graduated, went on to do different things. But he was sticking around because he still had another year of school, and I was like, wait a minute, you want to join our band?
Oh, you asked him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How do we
I don't know.
not have
I
this
thought
ironed
I
out?
thought he offered. He's like, hey,
we're learning, you're learning,
yeah,
guys.
I'm learning too. I thought he said like, oh, you don't have a guitarist.
No, I asked him,
okay.
and
Good, wise decision.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
He's also just crazy good.
Just, yeah, amazing musicians.
That's actually really cool with Chris that like he used to be like in a death metal band.
Yeah, the band's Oceans of Illusions. They're still going. Like
I gotta
they're
check them out. Oceans
pretty-
of Illusions.
I think I saw them open up for like Texas in July one time, but he wasn't in the band at the time. But they're still going. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's cool. It's cool to have like bring a style on like that, where someone has that like in their back pocket.
yeah,
It kind of gives like a unique,
Yeah.
build to the music.
yeah. Someone asked like, how did you guys like change
Yeah.
sound?
Because changing the sound of genre writing is like very difficult.
Yeah, but there's I think there's like a more like our second album's like more rockier, like heavier kind of.
Right. Yeah.
And people are like, oh, how did that change happen? It's like we added
Yeah.
like these two members basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird blend because I'm like into the kind of soft softer music, like Death Cab for Cutie, for example.
Yeah.
And then Anthony started out in like hardcore.
Yeah, when I met Gabe, I was actually in a hardcore band playing like around Jersey and stuff.
And then Chris, again, from deathcore, and then Lewis was kind of been into more like fusion-y stuff, math rock, like very like articulate guitar parts and kind of jazzy stuff. He likes kind of jazzy licks. And so we kind of it doesn't necessarily all fit together right off the bat, but we kind of find a way to like fuse it together.
Yeah.
The more you talk about it, like the genre, you could tell that like that all comes together, like the way Sonoa sounds.
Yeah.
Like from like the heavier side to, like you said, Death Cab.
Yeah.
Now you can kind of like, it gives a unique style to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely different, I think.
Pretty much as soon as I step away, they just start
playing metal.
Yeah.
You guys fight over playing drums when you're in band practice?
No. Lewis does play drums. Chris.
Well, not playing, writing, just like, goofing around and like being like, oh, let me play drums for a little bit.
Not really.
No.
Because Chris writes. He knows how to write drums, but he doesn't know how to play. Like he can write it on.
Well, he's better at drums than I am.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him play drums.
I've only seen him play once, but he's not like we don't really. I mean, I'm only fighting Lou probably. On drums.
And then my uneducated opinions about drums also.
Yeah, that's true.
With Dead Cab for Cutie, what did you think of their, I mean, this was a while ago, but like Postal Service, you have any opinion on that? Did you like it?
Do I like the Postal Service?
Yeah. Like the side project?
Yeah. I like a couple songs.
He saw them live?
Not as... Yeah, I went to the reunion tour.
I'm so jealous.
And... No, I don't like it as much as Death Cab. But
Yeah.
I do like a couple of the songs, like Such Great Heights. I like
Classic.
that one.
Classic.
I remember when that album came out, it was like really popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before my time, actually.
Yeah.
I discovered them in like 2015 probably.
Yeah.
And that was from like early 2000s. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, like 2006 around that time. Cool. So, talking about other bands like that, what are your primary musical influences when you write?
For me, it's
Death Cab.
yeah. I'm a person who like I think there's different types of listeners, right? There's people who listen to a variety of music, and there's people who fixate on like a couple artists at a time.
Right.
And I would say I'm that. So like, Death Cab, more recently Microwave, definitely Coldplay. Their first albums influenced a lot of the way that like I think about chords. Like I think their chord choice is really beautiful, and so I try to build. I guess in my inner ear, their chord choice is like ideal. So I try to like get our songs kind of to sound a little bit like that, like specifically in No Matter. That chorus when that comes in, I had Coldplay in mind.
Yeah, it sounds like that song has a big chorus.
And it doesn't sound like Coldplay ultimately, but it's still the influence. Death Cab definitely influenced me lyrically. Microwave has been a big influence in the recent songs, like Air Freshener. And Compared to You. Ooh, we'll see that.
Little Easter egg, guys.
And honestly, I'm just going to leave it at that. That's pretty much where my head's at.
What about you, Ant?
Yeah, so I guess it's going pretty far back. But when I picked up drums, I also, my good friend, childhood friend, picked up guitar. This is like when I was like in probably 13 or 14 in high school. So he played everything. I also listened to a lot of music, like different. I was a metalhead, but I knew Chili Peppers and Young the Giant and Coldplay. But I kind of just played everything with him. He played like indie stuff and emo stuff and metal stuff, and now he makes lo-fi hip hop. So now we play like R&B type stuff. So I kind of just started drawing influence from like just everything. Chad Smith is one of my favorite drummers from Chili Peppers. Death Cab, Jason McGurr from Death Cab is for the first album I would listen to Death Cab a lot. It's like inspiration. Slipknot was a huge inspiration. Joey Jordison, and all these metal bands, Avenged, Breaking Benjamin, I listened to a lot for the second album.
Oh, really?
To get inspiration, yeah, because he's a crazy good drummer. That who else? Darren King from Mute Math. So I just kind of whatever I just listened to, I just kind of listened to the drums and I thought about like why are they playing what they're playing, and then just applied that to music writing. So kind of just it's a large spectrum. I would listen to Death Cab, but then I listened to Slipknot and all these other metal bands. So
yeah,
yeah,
Slipknot's a big name, and they've been around for so long, and they're still relevant.
Yeah.
And they're still touring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good influence. Could you guys describe your creative process, like from beginning to end in writing a song? Is it always the same the way you guys start writing? Is it different?
It does change.
Yeah.
But I guess the majority of the songs are written by me primarily. Like, I'll either program out the whole song, which I've done a couple times, but most of the time I'll play the song structure on acoustic, and then I'll either share it with them or I'll like show it to them during practice. I'll be like, "What do you guys think of this?" And then we'll just jam over it for a while until they figure out what they want to play over it. But there have been a couple songs that we've written more collaboratively, like No Matter. No Matter, we were just jamming randomly before a show because we were waiting for people to show up.
Yeah, there's no one there.
And so we were like, I just like started playing that opening riff, just because it was right there, and then they started playing over it, and I was like, that's kind of a cool groove, and then we ended up building a whole song out of that. And Haze is also another song. Haze was like a big pioneering moment for us as a band because Lewis wrote the main verse riff and the chorus riff, and I think that's the first time that had happened. Until then, it had been my like chords were like the ones that they built off of, but he had actually played the main verse and chorus riff on his own, and I was like, that sounds sick, can we do something with that?
Yeah.
And then I kind of structured it and added lyrics to it, but that was definitely the most and it was a challenge too because we had to like figure out the right direction to go with it. But
also window shopping, right? Wasn't that like we like knew general idea, but we had to like sit down as a band to like figure it out?
A little
that one
bit.
Took a while,
I would say not as much as Haze.
Yeah, not as much as Haze. There, yeah.
And Air Freshener, Chris wrote the main.
Chris wrote the main riff.
Oh, really?
Air Freshener, yeah.
So we're starting to get more of that like collaboration, which is cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Chris wrote that riff.
Yeah, the main like chorus riff. Yeah. So kind of thing. He had the riff apparently for like since he was a kid or something, and he just like played it once. You're like, sure, let's just turn it into a song.
Yeah.
And that's what it came out to be. It's a pretty cool song.
That's awesome. Talking about the songwriting, for your recent songs that you're coming out with now that you're touring, do you guys have a specific story behind it?
Wait, the song?
Yeah, those 4 sets of songs, or are they all different stories, individual?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of leak the plan for this. It's going to be 5 songs total. And they were written over the course of a few years.
They were like, so I think we released the second album, and during COVID, we released the second album during COVID, and I think during COVID we started writing these next 5 songs.
Oh yeah, because I remember when you guys came out with Haze before, like that was the last one that you dropped before Air Freshener, wasn't it?
No, it was Haze and Pacing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like those songs were written in 2020, like we were like in COVID. It's the first time we could meet up, when people were not quarantined.
Yeah.
But by then, I think we had dropped the second album, so we started writing 2020. So these songs
fresh out the gate.
Yeah, pretty old too for us.
Yeah, so that kind of speaks to the message of the EP, which is like these were written during an era where like it was just so hard to make music because everyone was starting jobs, everyone was like figuring out what adulthood was like. I guess that's my perception. Like it was really hard, at least for me, to keep the project moving forward, to keep like creating and feel like we were moving at the right pace because there were just so many. It felt like there were so many obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's kind of the overarching theme of the EP, I think. And the songs weren't written necessarily like to tell a clear story from start to finish, so you can kind of hear like each song kind of has a different vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the story it tells, I think.
It's interesting. I mean, I didn't know like I understood the meaning behind the songs, but it's funny because I'm always telling Gabe we should slow and take our time, like in a sense that like we don't have to like rush. I mean, I tell every band this I'm a part of, like if we have a song in our hands, like the more planning we do, the better results we'll have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did feel that during COVID. It's hard. It's hard to like keep that momentum going. COVID killed a lot of bands, and just like then life gets in the way, and then get jobs after college. So it is tough, but I also think it's necessary for that space, even though it's pretty torturous for a musician because you just want everything. You want your new, you want to show people what you have. But I think in the long run, it's good for bands to, even though it's like really hard to like, just plan it out and,
Yeah. Yeah, because COVID, it was like 2 to 3 years of our lives were like on pause. So even getting in a room together, like trying to have band practice.
Yeah, it felt exactly. It felt like we weren't physically like moving as a band, but what was cool about it, I mean, I don't know if you have this perspective, but that's when I like took kind of social media seriously, and I had all these old videos of us playing shows like Kate would take or Tally would take, friends would take. So I had this huge catalog of old basement show videos, and so when we were promoting the album, no one's playing shows. So here's me posting a basement show, and everyone's missing shows. So I feel like they got a lot of attention just because people missed that stuff. So I feel like it was kind of helpful that posting all these old videos. It helped hype the album.
Have like a emotional connection with people. Because I know certainly for me, I love going to concerts, and there's like a point in time where like people are saying like, oh, it's almost done,
Yeah.
But people were even questioning like, are we even going to get concerts back ever again?
Yeah. So
is that going to be?
So when I post like a old video, people would be like, "Oh, I remember that show," or "I miss shows," and I felt like that hyped up our music. So it felt like physically we weren't meeting up and writing new music because we just spent like 2 years writing this album.
Right.
But like I guess from that perspective, it felt like the momentum kept going and we kept growing like digitally on as a band. And it was still pretty tough. So it's like a weird middle ground we have to like be in.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gabe definitely does not feel that way.
No, I really love Anthony's ability to find the silver lining, and I feel like the other guys do a good job of that too. But like as the primary writer, like, and I know Lewis feels this way too because we were just talking about it. It's like so painful to be sitting on songs
not releasing
them. Yeah. And I do understand that taking your time is good. Haze was the song that we spent the longest on. Like we probably spent like a whole year working that through, and it was excruciating, but very proud of the final result of that.
Yeah.
However, that's kind of the frustration of having a song ready and not being able to release it was kind of, I think, the underlying frustration that drove a lot of those songs.
What's funny when we think about the COVID time and like releasing songs during that time, I know this is like very pop culture here, but when Machine Gun Kelly came out with his album during COVID, they didn't really tour that album.
Yeah.
But it's funny because now when you look at Machine Gun Kelly, it's like back then it was like, oh my god, he's doing pop punk. Now when you think of him, it's like, what is he now? You know, because they never really toured it. They did, I think, like a live show during COVID, but yeah, it's one of the albums where it's like kind of like lost, I think. But it's good songs. They just never got to tour it.
But
you know?
I mean, that album got a lot of attention. I feel like that's similar
without the tour either.
Well, yeah, I think that's why, because bands can't really do much in COVID. So when you post something, it's like everyone can only see it online.
If only we started this podcast during COVID.
Yeah, exactly. I started my YouTube during COVID, and just like I would post a video every day.
But everything was so digital then.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys answered my last question. The next question I was going to ask, I was going to say, can you share any memorable experiences as a band or challenges? I think you guys covered the challenges part, but any memorable moments that you guys can think of, whether it's at a show or
I think
writing in the studio?
I think we have the same memorable moment. But,
well, I don't know. You want to share?
You can go first.
I was just gonna say, it's not a specific show for me. I would just say like what's most memorable for me is just the experience of growing together as a group of people, not just musically, but like personally. I feel like the band is stop
Cueing the music.
like a family. I genuinely feel that way, and I feel like every time we sit down to write music, the process just continues to get smoother, or we learn about each other musically, creatively. What was really special about this set of songs was that for the first two albums, we recorded those in the studio. But this one, with the exception of poor Anthony, who recorded all his drums like 2 years ago and then just had to wait.
That's funny. I didn't even know that.
For the rest of us guitarists, we got to kind of sit in Lewis's basement and just work on these songs. And
must be nice.
My whole life, I had been doing music on my own and like programming things out, figuring out the way I want it to be. And the reason I love music so much is like you enter this flow state, like that's what they call it with any kind of creative thing, where you completely lose touch with like any sensations, any of the outside world, right? You like forget to eat, you know, you're just completely in the zone. Yeah. And that was always an individual experience, but while we were doing this EP, I felt like we were all collectively engaged in that experience. Anthony gave me a weird look, so maybe that's not how it was, but that was really special to me because I felt like I was sharing that with them, and it's exciting, and I can't wait to keep writing music.
Yeah, to that point, like, I agree with that, but also like what I guess helped. It was also a challenge. Lewis moved to Maryland, maybe was that last year?
Yep.
Well, so we were in the middle of writing these songs, and Lewis moved to Maryland, so we'd have to, like, every month we would just spend a weekend down there. So we actually didn't go anywhere except just stay in his basement, just writing these songs. So that was very cool, and it felt pretty cool just to like not do anything else but just sit down in the basement and do anything. I mean, and just write music. But yeah, what did suck is this. I recorded the drum parts like 2 years ago for these 5 songs. Because Gabe was rushing me to record them, and here we are 2 years later. 2 years later, they're almost done. But I think a memorable moment for me was we were in college, and Rutgers puts on these Beats on the Bank, like huge concert series, like every spring or something. And so Young the Giant was gonna play, and so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just hit up Rutgers and be like, hey, you looking for a Rutgers band to open? And they're like, sure, send us your music. I'm like, okay. And then they said, yeah. So we got to open up for like Young the Giant in 2019 at Rutgers.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it was, and they gave us 45 minutes.
What?
Yeah, I think they gave us like,
Yeah.
they had like an
Played
hour and a
side.
half to play, and they gave us 45 minutes before them, and only us. And it was like,
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's
it was it was surreal. It was like probably the craziest
45
thing.
minutes.
Yeah, it was the craziest probably thing I've experienced, and it was such a fun show. I remember we were like huge adrenaline rush. We played too fast. That made us want to. Yeah, that made us want to like. That show made us want to like start using a click. Like because we just like played everything so fast. But I remember just the crowd and some of those memories like imprinted in my brain because it was just it was surreal. So that was my favorite memory.
Yeah, like 1 year into being a band, we were like, we made it. Yeah, and now we're crawling back to that feeling.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, 5 years later.
I mean, I had that feeling every time, but it was just.
They were huge at that time too, because I remember when they played the VMAs around that time. They were one of the bands that played.
They released
MTV Music Awards.
Yeah, they released their second album, which did pretty well. I mean, third.
And that's one of your favorite bands too.
Yeah, so I've been listening to them for years, and it was crazy. But
agreed.
But a difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
You ever try to? Sorry, do you ever try to stay in contact with like their agency or anything like that, or?
No.
It was just through Rutgers.
Yeah, we just hit up Rutgers. Yeah. We didn't really.
DM sometime.
We couldn't
even find them. We tried to hunt
we
them
tried,
down.
We tried to meet them.
Yeah.
What was funny is they came out to like, oh, thank you to all the bands that opened up, and it was just us. It's like you didn't even hear us. Like,
so they just went tour bus and then back to
pretty
tour bus.
Pretty much, unless we played so long they thought it was two bands because it was a long time.
Yeah. I think you were gonna say your
a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drums.
A challenge. There's many challenges. You know, it's hard being in a band. You know, you want to release your music, but then money and timing, and you need time to do all these things, and then shows are hard to plan around your life, and then just writing for me is a personal challenge because I purposely like challenge myself when I write these songs. Mm-hmm. Haze was a very hard song to record, and just learn how to play. But what's cool about it, and I look forward to, is there's like a period after you record the songs, which sucks that it's after, but it makes sense it's after. So you record the song, and then playing it a lot, you get better at playing it. So now that skill is in you. Now you have that skill, but it just sucks that it happens after you record the song. And now, like, I wish I had the skill before, because then I'd be that much better. But that's why I challenge myself, and I purposely make it hard. And I spent a lot of time trying to just write parts that, as a kid, I would appreciate listening to and be like, oh, this is cool. And
I like when you guys do the breakdowns in your songs.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big breakdown guy, so that's probably why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big.
But
breakdown.
no matter, I like when you guys break it down.
Yeah, that's a good example where we wrote that as a band, like just jamming. But this is also cool, like where like different our different influences clash. Mm-hmm. Where Gabe's like, oh, I thought this song would turn out like this, like a really chill song. And he's like,
I was against No Matter. Like,
he hated it. He hated it. How
it was my least favorite on the album when we released it, and now it's like probably one of my favorite songs to play.
Yeah, so when he played that riff, I'm like, the very first second in that room when we're just jamming, I'm like, I know where this song is gonna go, and I know where I'm gonna take it, because it's gonna be a heavy song. The second I heard it, and Gabe's like, I didn't hear
that. It's good. Sometimes it's good to take it there though for the live shows. At least.
So our live shows is probably
get people moving.
Yeah, it's one of our hypest songs live, and it's pretty fun to play. So
that's kind of one of the things that excites me about working with these guys is like, I do have a very clear vision of how I want it to turn out. And so it'd be easier if I just did it all myself. But
okay. No, I'm joking.
I mean, it'd be easier to like make that vision, if I was just sitting there, like, this is what I want the lead guitar to sound like. But it wouldn't be as fun, because I like working with these guys, and they challenge me a lot. And like, for instance, the breakdowns, that would, if I was a solo artist, that would never be a part of my style.
Yeah.
But I love breakdowns now, and I've been like listening to a bunch of progressive metal lately, like
That's good. Look at you.
Yeah, I'm trying to like assimilate to their.
You're growing.
They're like, just stop listening to Death Cab all the time, because that's my only reference point. I'm like, guys, this is too heavy, and they're like, that's because you just listen to Death Cab.
Yeah. What's the Twitter bio?
Listening to deathcore on the way to an indie rock show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they force this down my throat while we're on tour. They're just like playing death metal the whole way through, and now I'm starting to listen to like Animals as Leaders, Pliny, Polyphia.
Yeah, I made it like
to get a sense of that.
I made it like a life goal to try and like convert Gabe into like heavy music. It's slowly working. You know, he's writing some chuggy parts. He's okay with screams sometimes in the background.
Wow,
Yeah, so
that's a big change. Wow.
maybe one day we'll go full yelling. Almost.
No.
Oh. Well, we'll see.
Not full yelling.
You guys should just come out with one song that people like get surprised, like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah.
You know, like something so different.
Maybe
like,
maybe
what?
I'll bring that to Sonoa and just like convince Gabe.
Just like a B track or something where it's like, so how do you guys prepare for your live shows?
Oh.
Like just like the day of, let's say.
Day of. Well, before the day of, we practice a lot. Even though I don't think we need to practice that much, but
they practice for me.
Yeah, pretty much. Gabe's like, we need to practice. We don't know these songs, and then every single time we go a month without playing them, we're like, wow, we know the songs. Like, yeah, we wrote them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're better instrumentalists than I am, because I feel like they've all been. I don't know. You guys are dedicated to your instruments, I guess, and I guess my instrument would be songwriting more so than guitar.
That's a good
So,
point.
I feel like I need a lot more practice with a song before I'm comfortable with it.
That makes sense.
But to be fair, I'm also doing two things at once, singing and playing guitar.
Yeah. I'm using all four limbs,
and I don't want it to sound bad. I want to sing
all
well.
All four limbs.
You know? Yeah. That's true. That's true.
But day of, I don't know if you have a ritual day of. I actually don't know.
Well, I guess to prep for shows, Lewis is really putting in a lot of the work, because he is like tech guy.
Yeah, he did all the back. He kind of puts all the backing tracks together in a track. He organizes it. So he does. Yeah, he has probably.
You guys use backtracks at shows?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That's
really subtle. Just
it's like not. It's like it's maybe like a shaker or
a swell into a part or something like that.
Yeah, maybe there's like an echo on Gabe's voice.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's not thing like.
And Lewis controls that at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he puts it all together, so it's there, and we test it out beforehand.
And he also has all his pedals automated through.
Yeah, so he doesn't. He use an amp now.
He uses he has the quad cortex, which runs through this tiny like head rush speaker, which is like so loud. It's this tiny thing, and it puts out so much volume.
Yeah, basically he automated his effects to his guitar to match the track on the. So he doesn't. He just has to play, and his pedals will switch automatically. He's nuts. So he does. Yeah, he probably has a lot more work than us because he has to bring all this. If he forgets one thing, we're probably
we just play like we used to play without any.
I know. Yeah. One time, I think we had something ready, or we forgot something, and Gabe's like, "What are we gonna do? Like, we're gonna play the songs like we did when we were in basement shows." Yeah.
That's cool. You guys backtrack. It's good, like fill
So it makes. I feel like it kind of steps up our game as like a live band.
And that was another thing I was against from the beginning.
I
was like, no backing tracks.
Oh, really?
No
I didn't know
click.
That. I forgot.
We're doing everything completely live and organic.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like rock purists out there who feel the same way.
Yeah, that's definitely
It's good. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, so that was something we did during COVID. Like when we couldn't play shows, we just our first show back. We're gonna use live tracks. We use a click. And we're just gonna be professional AF.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's super professional.
So that's why I feel like it was cool. It was cool to see that change before and after COVID. I feel like we changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep. Ritual on the day of a show. I'm like super nervous. I can't focus on anything. So
I can only imagine. Like,
yeah.
You're just waiting for it to happen.
I get an Arizona.
an iced tea.
Yeah. And sometimes I do vocal warm-ups in the car on the way up, but not every time.
I used to drink a Pepsi. Like when in college, I used to drink a Pepsi at every show. But then I was playing too many shows. I was like, I can't drink.
It's getting like a little sugar in you.
Yeah, I'm getting a little
yeah.
freshman 15.
I wanted to ask more about the music videos you guys do. Do you guys storyboard those yourself, or is it someone that comes in and already has it basically like printed out, or do you guys just come up with the storyboard
what was
for the shoots?
Did you think of something for Johnny, or we just went into that?
That was Big Body.
He just like had the idea of in his house.
Yeah, he was like, everyone gets a different room.
Yeah, so I mean, usually we don't plan it out.
Mm-hmm.
We usually just plan out like we want to do it here.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I think for Emotion it was the only one.
That was your idea.
Actually, that was Kate's idea. She's like, you guys should do about I don't think she said COVID exactly, but it was like incorporate graduating because I graduated that year.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's out there.
Shout out Kate out there.
It was a cool music video. So we that was the only one we planned out. I think we sat down and be like, I should be here, Gabe should be here, and
yeah.
That was a cool music video because me and Chris, who shot the music video, shout out to him, Chris Saraceno.
No, Matt
Saraceno. Sorry, Matt Saraceno.
Sarazano.
Recorded it, and we snuck into the stadium, Rutgers Stadium, to like get a shot. But that was the only one we planned out. I think it was a really cool one.
Yeah, the visual, like storyboard idea, I don't think is any of our wheelhouse. Air freshener was planned out a bit.
Yeah, because I saw the clips for that.
Because I wanted it to be, yeah, I mean that was the vision I had in mind with the song, and Chris Kunachuk really nailed that take. Hayes,
we didn't really.
That was his vision for that because we came in and we were like, well, make us look cool. And he was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. And then same stuff for the next video.
Yeah, I think we're trying to plan something out for the last one.
Yes, we have a cool idea for
it's gonna be cool.
An upcoming music video, but we'll see. It's a big undertaking, so we'll see if it pans out.
I hope. But yeah, so it's like a combination. Sometimes I guess what we're feeling if we're lazy enough.
Yeah.
It's because there's a lot of stuff going on in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
And trying to post a lot and plan shows and then have ideas for music videos and plan it all out. Plus having the money for all this. It's
if you have a good videographer, like you said, if you just say make us look cool, they'll be like,
yeah, exactly.
We know how to do it.
Exactly.
This is what we're gonna do.
Luckily enough, they're the two people we go to all the time just are both amazing and they make us look good every time.
Yeah.
Pacing in circles we didn't really plan out. We just kind of.
Yeah, that was Matt's idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the biggest obstacle is like resources for music videos because we do have an idea of like, oh, it should look like this.
Yeah.
But to get from that to the final product is really hard. Like costume design, renting out the right space. Renting a space is mad expensive too.
Yeah.
So like.
That's where we're usually outside.
Because
it's free to be outside.
It ends up just being like, let's find a cool space and do what we can with it.
Yeah.
I think there's a studio by here that's pretty legit. I could give you the information later.
Cool.
It's like not that expensive.
Always open to
it's in Woodland Park.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? All right. Well, what would you give upcoming musicians that are starting to write music? They want to start a band. They want to get out there and start playing shows. Like, what advice would you give them?
Don't do it. No, what's your advice?
We get that answer all the time when someone comes in.
Oh, really? I want to hear.
I hope it's always sarcastic. Like that.
I think it is sarcastic. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm interested to hear what Gabe says.
Okay. So I think the biggest struggle for me. So Anthony was like, he's always telling me to like relax and slow down. And the reason I can't is because I feel like when you're looking at other bands and other successful musicians, so many of them are like super young, right? They like post one EP on SoundCloud and then they blow up, and that is such a small subset of musicians, right? The majority of musicians are probably like us, where we're not even really touring extensively. We're not, most of the shows we play, there's like 15 people there, and we're losing tons of money, right? It's a grind.
Yeah.
And so social media, which is a big vice for me, and it's really destructive personally, to be looking on social media all the time. You're just seeing so many success stories, right? And you're only seeing the final product. Like, you're seeing what happens after they put the work in and become successful. And so it's very easy as a musician to compare yourself to that and go, I'm not doing enough. I'm never going to make it. If I was really a good musician, I would have been successful by now. That kind of thing. And that is a really, I think, dangerous mentality, because I think that as we continue to do art and to write music together, it keeps getting better, right? We keep getting better at music. Life is getting easier. I'm starting to figure my stuff out and find a way to like do my art and also, pay the bills and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people give up before they get to this point, right? As soon as it gets hard, as soon as you like enter adulthood and have to work a full-time job, you give up because it's so hard to be passionate about music and to put in all this time and not see immediate results, right? And yeah, so I would say for any upstart musician, anyone who's starting out, is just to enjoy the process and trust in the future, right? Trust it's going to work out, and take your time. And that's advice just as much for myself as it is for,
I was about to say.
yeah, someone starting out.
Good advice.
Yeah, that is really good advice.
I think you should just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, there are bands out there that I don't like, but people like because they just kept going, They just didn't stop.
Yeah.
To Gabe's point, just
But just keep going.
Just you do it for fun, and I guess the secret to that is just keep doing it for fun. We're having fun out here. I kind of like where we are as a band, because I have like a long list of bands I want to play with from Jersey, and I'm just knocking them off every year, and I just because I want to play with them and I enjoy the music. But you have to have fun and just keep going, and definitely don't compare yourself to. It's so easy. It's so easy to like,
especially with social media.
Yeah, it's so easy to compare
media,
yourself, but like, just enjoy where you are and how you're there, like, and just keep going no matter what.
Yeah, especially with social media. Try some new things.
But it doesn't matter how fast you go. You just keep going.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're getting better.
Yeah, that's it. If your music's getting better, you're getting better at playing live. Like, it doesn't matter where that happens, as long as it's, you just keep going and learn and grow and as a person, musician.
Nice. That's really good advice.
Because you can't control whether you're successful or not,
Yeah.
Right? That's out of your control.
Yeah, it really
all
is.
All you can control is the effort that you put in. To it.
Yeah. But don't go overboard with the effort.
With the effort.
Yeah, you don't want to burn yourself out. So that's why, just go at your own pace, keep going. It's easy to burn out when doing this stuff.
Especially with social media.
Yeah. You probably feel the exact same thing. You have like a million things to do. If you did everything efficiently and everything at once like you're supposed to do, you're going to burn yourself out.
Social media, the problem with social media is it's the hold against like being creative, because you want to keep being creative and making new things, but then you also have to keep on making new things on social media.
Yeah, then you have to keep
like
posting
new
about
posts
it.
for like engagement, conversion, like that's the...
Yeah, it's like a weird duality. You have to spend time making the art to get better, but then you also have to post it. So like, when does that, do you spend more time posting so you get more followers, or do you work on your art and then you can't post as much? And it's weird.
and you've got all these great minute metrics to remind you of how poorly you're doing, right?
Yeah.
All the analytics. Yeah. I think we were talking about this the other day with like the record labels. You know, it's like, do you really even like need like the support of it? I think the only support you really need is someone to help you do the social media
or funding.
Funding.
But then you owe the money back.
Yeah, they take a percent of the sales.
Yeah, it's tough out here. But just go ahead. That's why I tell Gabe all the time, like, we can go 100% and just burn ourselves out, or we could just take our little go at our own pace and just grow gradually, because that's gonna win in a long time. If we're gradually growing, then just you get it all at once, and then you can't maintain it.
Yeah, that's true. If you get too big at a certain point, it's like you can't maintain it.
Or you don't know how.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So just go at your own pace. There's no rush. Enjoy it and just keep going.
Mm-hmm. And you do a lot of the social media, or do you?
Yeah. Gabe used to do it, and then I took over.
Yeah. There's this one time.
It does get really like being on social media all the time is like
Yeah, I don't mind relinquishing that responsibility. There's this one time over tour, like 2 years ago, when we had this like great workflow figured out where we would film the show, and then the next day in the van, on the way to the next show, Lewis would like chop it up, and then Anthony would post it, and then a couple of times Lewis and I tried to help out with the posting, and Anthony kept going, wrong. This is terrible.
I was either driving or sleeping, and so they like, was I sick? No. Maybe I was sleeping, and then so I was like, okay, you guys handle it. I trust you guys.
Yeah, and like he would stop driving, we'd pull over, take a bathroom break or something, and he'd go, "Who posted this? Who did this?"
It was like an uncropped video. You couldn't see anything. It was like you could just see like barely Gabe's back.
Like
so I'm like, yeah. And it was like
shoulder.
the word. It's like it's like why'd you post? You just don't post it then. It's like
there's one time I posted a video that got one play, and I was like, all right, we got it from here.
Yeah, so I do most of the posting.
So funny.
But I've also done most of the posting. I was in GKM. I did all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For a bit, and I did for a little bit for my other band, 81 Rich. So, and I do my own personal. So, I just kind of learned some tricks from some people from online. We have an influencer friend who taught me some tricks, and just being on social media, I kind of use my personal page as like a test, like what works and what doesn't. That's why I post on YouTube to see what works, on TikTok first, on my personal to see what works, and then I just decided to like I'm just gonna like apply it to the bands, because I need the band. The bands need to grow, and not necessarily me, the band. So I took over posting, just because I know all these little tiny tricks, and it's just, if you can reach someone new through social media, why, if you can get one more fan on social media, why not just post so you can get that one more fan?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of took it over a bit. And I try and post every day somewhere.
It's the way of the world now.
Yeah.
I mean, like back in the day, I remember like bands, like the only physical marketing you would have to worry about is the flyers you would give out.
And
like,
a CD maybe.
Just go into like school one day and just take a whole thing of flyers. We just throw it on the staircase in between periods.
Sick.
And then,
What about you people fall?
Yeah, whatever. Just go to our show. They'll remember the flyer they tripped on.
Yeah. This flyer. Oh.
Yeah. The marketing was like so different, and you would have to like go to storefronts and like
I guess
post the flyer up.
What's interesting is like there's still a lot of bands that don't want to post on social media. There's still a lot of businesses that don't want to post, but like
you'll never win that race.
I know,
though.
but that was marketing back then. You would make a flyer and hang it up. People still do it nowadays. You would make a flyer, hang it up, hand it to people. That's marketing. Just a bit different now.
Yeah. It's all digital platform. But I'm gonna ask this question. You guys already talked about in the beginning, but is there anything else that's upcoming that you guys are working on? That but you guys basically already answered that. But anything else in the?
I'll just be, I guess, vague about it. We got some April shows, and then pretty much have a lot planned for the end of the rest of the summer, and then I guess we'll go back to writing again for
Awesome.
whatever's next.
Yeah, we've started writing some new tunes already. So.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'll just go over the shows again. We have Air Freshener out, new song, pretty dope.
We like that one a lot.
But we plan some shows around it. First show is the 16th of March, Philly.
At the Fire.
Yep. 21st is Hoboken, New Jersey. 22nd, Brooklyn. And 23rd is Lancaster. And if you go to our sonoaband.com, you can see some info. Social media, you can see some info on it.
Yeah, our flyers are mostly posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
But you can buy tickets to the Brooklyn show on our website. Yep.
Awesome. I mean, I'll be at the one in Hoboken for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And then one more thing before we go, guys. We do a segment at the end. We do a playlist of the week. All right, guys. Verse playlist of the week with Sonoa, Anthony, and Gabe. Since you're our guest, do you want to start first?
I can go first, I guess, because Gabe's giving me a weird look. My first song will be Relax by Inner Love. Repping their shirt right now. One of my favorite bands, like local bands coming up. They're going to do big things.
Great. That's awesome. I like that shirt a lot.
Do I give another one, or do we
we'll go around.
Okay.
Okay. I've been listening to Pinback lately, which is Death Cab-esque from like 2000.
Yeah.
I like their song Fortress. So Fortress by Pinback.
Nice. Fortress by Pinback, guys. Check that out. My song that I'm going to start off with, since we're doing Atlantic City Beer Fest in a couple weeks, I'm going to go with a song called Apart is Better Than Zero. It's by Free Throw, and it's featuring Hot Mulligan as well. And both of those bands are playing together at Atlantic City Beer Fest. So I'm going to go with that song. Can't wait to see that live.
That's a good band.
All right, this is going to be a pretty emo playlist, I can already tell.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a pop song.
Ooh.
Pretty Isn't Pretty by Olivia Rodrigo. It's such a good song.
Oh, there
It's
we
a
go.
good album. She's going on tour.
You're really
she's
an Olivia Rodrigo
It's
stan,
good.
aren't
It's
you?
pretty good. You should listen to it. I think you'll enjoy it.
You know, one of her songs actually inspired the lyrics for an upcoming song, believe it or not.
Really?
Really?
I'm not,
We'll talk about
I'm
this
not
later.
joking.
What?
Yeah.
So why?
I like her
why
because she's
telling me-
keeping that scene like relevant, even though
Yeah.
it's mainstream. She's keeping it
The
relevant.
angsty. I
Yeah.
posted a TikTok making fun of her, and I got so much hate.
Yeah. She was in a Super Bowl. Her song was in a Super Bowl commercial like a couple years ago.
No, she's killing it. So
Yeah.
You don't have to put other people down
I
to
know.
boost yourself up.
Yeah, I'm going to her show. I'm not
Yeah.
putting it down.
Sweet Talk by Deer in the Headlights.
Right. Sweet Talk.
It's a great song.
Definitely gonna check that out. Yeah. And then last song, guys, I'm gonna go with another Atlantic City Beer Fest band that's playing on that Saturday. I'm gonna go with Saves the Day from their first album. It's a song called Through Being Cool. Yeah, it's an instant classic from the early. I think it was actually '99 that album came out.
It's a Jersey band too.
Yeah, Saves the Day. I can't wait to see them at that show as well. Yeah, guys, Atlantic City Beer Fest. Love those guys over there. Tricycle Productions. Yeah, like I said before, buy tickets to that. It's going to be April 12th and the 13th. Friday is Hot Mulligan headlining. Saturday is going to be Saves the Day. And then for session 1, and then session 2 will be Classic Goldfinger, guys. So definitely get tickets to that. And then definitely get tickets if you're in the New Jersey area, Philadelphia, New York area, right? For the Sonoa shows.
Yeah.
And they can check that out on your website and on social media, right?
Yep. 16th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
Nice.
Come out.
Tri-state area.
Yep. You want to shout out your handles one last time before we go? Website?
I think we're at Sonoa Band on everything. SONOA Band. Like Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
And SonoaBand.com.
Great. Awesome. Gabe, Anthony, guys, thank you for coming in. We finally did it, guys. Maybe next time we'll have the whole crew in.
Yeah.
Yes.
The missing pieces.
Yeah, this is fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime
Can't
you guys
wait.
got to promote anything, definitely come by and we'll get it done again. Thank you guys for coming in. Guys, thank you for viewing again. We are the Verse Podcast, now available audio only on Spotify and video available on YouTube. Search Verse Apparel Podcast on both platforms. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.
Check out
Thank
Verse.
you.
Woo!